Great, what's up, you guys? We're going to do another video about wrist cranking. And since I was going to the store and saw a guy on the corner, I was actually going to offer up some help, but I had some deli meats that I had to get home so they don't spoil or whatever. Ask him if he needed help. Wielding the sledgehammer, taking care of the sidewalk or whatever. And it also reminds me of what I want to do a video on. Not that there's anything wrong with these workouts you see people in these videos or YouTube videos or on TV banging a tire with a sledgehammer where they're due to a chick. Some of them I think they put too much into it where they can throw their back out and it looks like you're really tough, beating on it. You're going, I find that the mistake some people are making, they're not doing exercises to be able to wield the hammer better. As a matter of fact, like I said, you use these. A lot of videos on, you can use a sledgehammer as a workout tool, whether you use two at the same time, like I had two of these. But if you really want to do beat on the tire or whatever, yeah, take some venting, get some stress out or whatever, pretend it's whatever, and then get all that out of your system. But before actually beating around on a tire and you're taking a sledgehammer and hitting it, some people don't make the mistake. They can be throwing their back out like, it's something that's too heavy. You want to go to even a heavier hammer, you should be using one of these or using different size hammers. You can go in your Lowe's or your Home Depot or your hardware store or somewhere, buy yourself different weight of hammers. These things I buy come in larger sizes. They're pretty expensive. A set of two of these actually on Amazon retrospect costed me, about I think 100 off the top of my head. I'd have to go and relook it. But anyway, you want to use a sledgehammer. Doing a lot of this, say you want to beat on something anyway or beat on the sidewalk, something lighter and go to heavier, do a lot of this. And then also holding it like this, going like this, like you're wielding the sword, or you're like training for your medieval club or LARPing club. You go like this. That part of the wrist where you wanna be able to wield it freely and have every aspect of the swing. You know what I mean? And then you can go to something bigger sledgehammer. Yeah, and then you're doing this, you're actually a whole dang system you can actually feel working. Go like this, then do the whole deal, standing up, down, and then up, like do it like it's a Conan sword. Here, let me go down a little bit, like show you in the camera too. Do a lot of this. Change hands too, by the way. You can feel it in one wrist more than the other. Yeah, get in the habit of, say, if you're left or right-handed, be able to change hands, like doing this, for example. Have my left hand here, right hand here. Do a session of it, changing hands. Because you notice that the one wrist works different than the other. Because then if you're doing work beating on a sledgehammer, you're not properly get everything trained to be able to wield a smaller item like this, smaller, be able to do it fluidly, and then go to a bigger hammer. And then you can beat more intensely, you know what I'm saying? And just really, if you need to really beat the hell out of something in a job, see what I mean? Just beat. Then when it gets easier, this looks easy now, but when you do it for a good amount of sessions, your whole forearms and your metacarpals are actually screaming. And you'd actually, things inside different parts of the forearm you will feel popping out or whatever. Or if you were to use a mirror in a certain, or a camera angle, you will feel that shit. But, say you get one of these. This is like only 15. And like I said too, use two sledgehammers too. Go ahead and start holding it here, and then be able to hold it like this. If you don't have these, buy sledgehammers. I got my second one in the house over there because I got to keep bringing them outside. But then yeah, do the same thing with one hand. You actually could be able to beat the hell out of something with one hand. And plus, to people around you, when you're able to wield that more confidently, then that says a lot of thing about you there too. And then, same thing. Crank it like that. And then you got the same exercise too, where you want to bring it up over the shoulder and just like you're carrying a warhammer or a sword. And then while you're doing that, you can actually feel it in here when you just go suddenly lift it up, put it down. A little bit of discipline involved so you don't bust your shoulder. Go like that, and then down, like that, and then down. You can hold it like closer like this, but then you can go a little bit more like to here. Like, you start over here like this here first. That don't look like much, but you're actually feeling like it all spreading out in here. And then you'll actually start to, for a certain camera angle or a mirror, you actually will start to see something popping out of there, because you're not always doing the whole entire muscle, so to speak. You can use smaller ones or bigger ones to target, the more inners of like the arm. Not just straight large muscle, but smaller or tendons. And matter of fact, if you're doing it the right way, you may have to pace yourself a little bit, because it can be very easy. You can like to actually tear something, because you're not always working like a mass muscle, if you will. You can actually feel, like say you use a bigger one or a little one, then you lay down on a bench or a couch or a table and do a bunch of this while laying down with two ones of different sizes. Start with little ones, go to the bigger ones, the little ones, then the big ones again. You can feel where you might actually tear something. So even if you use the littler ones, not hard to actually tear something, because you're working and strengthening other things in there, and you can reduce the chances of tearing something. But yet if you overdo it too, you can tear something. So you're actually working some of the more delicate things in there, where the things that make it possible to be able to pick something just right up, where a lot of people that maybe you worked a job in right next to, whatever they want to do with their time when they get the hell out of the job and cash their paycheck, they'll look at you like you're whatever, like you're nuts or something, because you got a little bit, you can pick something up a little easier than them or whatever, and you'll get the usual comments of some kind that you're probably jacking yourself up on something and or whatever the hell. But these things like have quite a function. So I just wanted to stress that, because I see a lot of that, and it's a good stress reliever to beat on a tire. But you can tell by some of them, a few of them at least, they got their heart in it, but you can tell that when they're swinging and wield it, that they can be potentially wanting to throw something out in their back. So I do think it's a good idea, if you want to do that shit, train with little objects, and plus, when you're more able to fluidly wield that hammer too, you'll be able to get a more banging in, you know what I'm saying, and be able to do it more safely. And you really shouldn't be sweating all over, like soaking wet sweating while beating on a tire. I mean, that can be trouble, that's what I'm saying.